Hi there, my name is Bernie, and I'm the organizer of the Eamon Meetup. Currently, we're working on a segment of the the Turquoise series called the Detection Arts. And I wanted to continue on a little bit with some information and ideas about what it's actually about. It's been quite profound for me, the art of detection, for over 20 years. And it touches on some, I guess, what you could call mysterious areas that are understood under different types of names. So one of the aspects of detection is called clairvoyance. And just the other day, for example, my daughter asked me, "What's clairvoyance?" She's 9. And I was struggling with trying to come up with a simple answer. But I said, "I'm holding something in my hand right now. If I open my hand and you see it, you know exactly what it is. But without opening my hand, can you tell what it is?" And if you can tell what it is, or do know what it is, then that was clairvoyance, for example. Because my mind and my body know exactly what's in there. And if you were able to pick up on those frequencies, or somehow be able to see or know what's in my hand, you'd know that it was a toonie. So one of the descriptions of the word clairvoyance, it breaks down into two words, clara and voyance, which is clear vision, meaning being able to see things clearly. And as I'm down here by Lake Ontario, if I look into the water here, I can see right in my vicinity, I can see deep into the water. I can see the bottom, and I can see some of the seaweed and the rocks that are there. But as I look out farther on an angle, my vision gets reflected off the surface of the water. So clairvoyance is kind of like that. It has to do with the angle or the attitude that you look at something with. And if you're a believer in the idea that the human has an extraordinary perceptive capacity to see and understand things that are, in a sense, a little bit hidden behind a veil, then the detection arts will be very interesting for you to explore and start to develop your own senses with. Another thing to do with seeing beyond what is a common type of barrier, looking a little bit more deeply into things. It's actually, I believe it's going on in everybody's life to some degree or another. Perhaps the phone was rang for you and you knew who it was that was calling, or someone comes to mind and then a day or later on in that day you actually bump into them and you say, "I was just thinking about you." This falls into the category of detection and seeing things more clearly. Part of the foundation of the detection arts is that the human is only using its perceptive capability by, say, approximately 10%. And that if you increase your perception level by even 2 or 3%, a whole other world opens up to you. I remember when I was traveling in South Africa just probably about 2 years ago, went to visit the home of Nelson Mandela, where he used to live. And there was something that could be felt. It was just a simple little basic brick structure where the front door of the building had a wall built outside of it of brick because the policemen used to come by and shoot at the house, so they needed something to stop the bullets. So there's those kind of interesting factual bits of history or knowledge, but there was a whole incredible emotional sense that I had also going on with the fact of sensing something that wasn't readily perceptible, but still sensing it beyond the shadow of a doubt. And I believe it was through that experience that I came to know, in a small way, what Nelson Mandela was about. And, the bringing of apartheid to the end, and the charter that he represented to do with South Africa being for everyone. So there's the facts of things as they're written on a plaque or on a piece of paper, but then there's the feeling, living experience of something. And to do that, to see into those realms, to feel into those realms, it helps to have some type of framework, some type of guidelines that assist you, whether, as I mentioned before, you're an artist or a teacher or whatever it is that you're pursuing in life. I would believe that there's more deep understandings and feelings to be had in regards to what it is that you're thinking about or doing or attempting to do. Detection is very much in those lines. Quite often it has to do with clearing out, what your thoughts are about something and being a little bit open, perhaps not as judgmental, or having a lot less assumption that you know what something is, and being in more of an innocent, taking a state of innocence actually has a lot to do with perceiving into nature and understanding other people. And being innocent in this world these days is a very it's a frowned upon thing because somebody could take advantage of you. So one of the fundamentals of being innocent or inquiring or just looking at something in a simple and fresh way, there's a slight degree of vulnerability involved in that. And so if I just take those two ideas of innocence and vulnerability, they're not really that well practiced in the world today, and in fact they're shunned. But those are the very keys, or a couple of the keys, that help to open up for deeper understanding and perception. So it's best when practicing detection to do it in a safe environment and to do it under circumstances where there is, you're not going to be harmed if you're being safe or if you're being vulnerable and innocent. But it's just in those states of mind. For example, many of the great inventions that have happened in the world, it's been either, with some of these different characters, Nikola Tesla comes to mind, or say even you go back further, and Leonardo da Vinci or Einstein. And quite often when they speak about their revelatory process, it had to do with being in a safe environment and being free of mind and not worrying about the hassles and concerns and exigencies of this world, and able to delve into the depth of a subject. I would call that a practicing of a detective art, the art of detection. So these are just a few things that I wanted to mention. We're carrying on with the detection arts, which sits inside of the Turquoise series that we're working. And I hope to see you come out to some of them. If you get the chance, you don't need to come to all of them, maybe just one. And you might just find at the end that you're seeing a little bit more clearly.